Hi, internet people. Okay, so this week's Riverdale had the giant reveal of a blood feud and the most Crimson Peak intro I have ever seen. Okay, so the episode's official title was Heart of Darkness, which is a super not creepy, sort of creepy, I don't know. It's a story that I had to read in high school, though admittedly, I don't know if this is true. Anyway, we're not going into that. I just remember reading it in high school. Okay, so it opened with Cheryl coming down the stairs holding a candelabra in this robe, and it literally made Thornhill, the Blossom family home, look so much like Crimson Peak. Like, so much of this episode reminded me of the movie Crimson Peak. It was crazy. Because, okay, Jason and Cheryl's relationship seems very odd, which is a lot like the relationship between the siblings in Crimson Peak. If you haven't seen Crimson Peak, maybe give it a watch. Just to do that. But yeah, she has been sleeping in his bed, I guess, periodically, and she, like, fell asleep working on the eulogy that her mom does not want her to give because Penelope Blossom is, she's not a nice lady. I don't like her. I don't like her at all. She's crazy. Like, she's mean and vindictive and, whoo, I can see her hitting Cheryl. Like, she didn't, but I could see it happening. Okay, but there was so much going on because they didn't want her to talk at the service, but then they wanted her to invite all these kids from her school. Like, she handed out invitations, which seems weird for a memorial service, but okay. Then she finds out that it was all to get people that they thought could have killed Jason to the party, the memorial service, and Cheryl didn't know. She's like, wow, you're self-serving and evil. But okay, she winds up inviting Veronica over, and she and Veronica actually bond. And she says she thinks Jason would have liked Veronica, and, like, they're getting along, but at the dinner table, I forget that Clifford, is his name Clifford Blossom? Father Blossom, informs that, it starts talking about how maple syrup is the background for Riverdale, and how they got the name for that, the Sweetwater River? Whatever. And you're like, okay, maple syrup. Got it. Which makes sticky maple sound even creepier in a town built on maple syrup, just saying. And then there's, like, old lady Blossom? I don't know, there's, like, a little old lady at the table who she's, like, the matriarch of the family. Like, they have this dinner, and Veronica and Cheryl are getting along. Then at the memorial service, Cheryl totally shows up in the outfit that she was wearing when the riverboat accident happened, and then she just talks about how much she and Jason, like, how much Jason took care of her, and her mom goes off. Like, Veronica winds up, like, sort of not lip syncing, mouthing, she says it out loud, but to, Penelope Blossom, like, you're only going to make this worse. So they let Cheryl finish the eulogy, and then right after, she literally, like, flings Cheryl into her bed and is like, you're never going to, like, you are terrible, like, all this stuff about how she would ship her away, but no one will take her, and I'm like, okay. And Veronica sees all of it and is actually, like, upset, like, a lot, because this family is so weird. Like, there's so much, like, tension and anger inside of them. There's a lot happening in the Blossom family. But at the memorial service, okay, so Betty and Jughead have been working together to figure out what went on with Jason, and she goes on this date with Trev. She says it's to get information, but they go to Pop's. And then he says, like, no, Jason started, like, selling off all of his stuff, like, and maybe selling drugs, like, trying to get money. Like, what? And Betty thinks he was running away, and Jughead's like, okay. And then at the memorial service, the old lady Blossom, thinks Betty is Polly, which totally fits with this theory everyone keeps sharing that could fit, but I don't know, that Polly is secretly Betty, or, like, Betty has a split personality, or Betty is also sometimes Polly. I've heard a few theories where Polly and Betty are the same person, possibly. Just saying. There was also only one person in that video that, Pop Cooper, whose first name I forget, was watching. But I'm not saying that that's, I don't know, but it's a good theory. I like the theory. But old Mama Blossom thinks that she's Polly, and he's like, you're not wearing the ring. You're not wearing it. That's good. And she's like, what wouldn't I be wearing? Apparently, Jason and Polly were going to get married. Like, they were engaged. She was wearing the Blossom family ring. And then the old, I don't know her name, Old Lady Blossom, that's just what I'm keep calling her, says, like, Penelope would snip it off of your finger. And she, like, wanted she wanted Polly and Jason to get married. Old Lady Blossom. So yeah, that was crazy. Betty left, and then she confronts her dad about it, and we find out there's a hardcore, literal blood feud between the Coopers and the Blossoms, because apparently the great-great-grandfathers of both families were in the maple syrup business, and one day, old man, super old man, Blossom, killed super old man Cooper, and now the families hate each other because the maple syrup business became entirely the Blossoms and the Coopers are out of it, but still the Coopers have money, I guess? I don't... Whew. Blood feud. Betty was like, really? There's a blood feud? And then Betty was telling Jughead everything, and now they're like, oh yeah, nope, yeah. We also find out that her dad totally stole all of the sheriff's stuff. Kevin's dad's whole murder board, which they've recreated. They've made their own, like, mini murder board. Actually, it's pretty big. In the newspaper office at the high school, and it's a cool murder board, and Jughead just casually references it, which is great. Still, I want a Jughead hat. Sorry, on the topic of Jughead. His part was not very big in this episode, but I want a Jughead hat. Someone get me that. Someone tell me how to get that. Something, somewhere, anywhere, I want one. So they're investigating, but now the Coopers are sort of implicated, and Jughead is like, well, we have to go talk to Polly. So I'm wondering if we get to see Polly next episode, or if we'll find out what's going on with Polly, or what. So yeah. Okay, and then Archie's plotline, because I'm jumping around a little bit. I do this in all of these. Archie's plot was mostly about his music, but, like, he stopped because he's like, I could do music in college. If I become captain of the football team, I'll get a scholarship. I would actually be very cool with having, like, a punching bag in my room. Like, that was a nice setup. I would appreciate it. I want one. Can I have one? You need, like, a really strong ceiling. Anyway, but Archie and his dad are talking about it, and then Val, from the Pussycats comes to talk to Archie, and she's like, no, there's a professor at the college who does, like, individual lessons. I think you should meet with him. And so he meets with him, but the guy doesn't really think he's as talented as Miss Grundy, who was not really Miss Grundy, was telling Archie he was. And so some of it is, like, Archie was distracted by football, and genuinely, we've heard him sing, but we haven't heard all of his music, so we don't know how similar the songs sound, or why the one guy's like, eh. But he doesn't really want to work with Archie, because he's like, these are sort of just breakup songs, like, you're just writing breakup songs. But Valerie's like, even though he said that, you shouldn't just stop. And admittedly, I wonder if they're getting together, because there's, like, a vibe where he's, like, practicing, and she's been helping him a lot. So while the other Pussycats weren't there, she was in it a lot more, which was nice. So no, I'm curious if that would happen, since they've sort of stopped the Betty-Veronica love triangle. At least for right now. It could reemerge, but it's not happening right now. Which I'm totally fine with. I'm cool if he gets with Valerie, that's fine with me. But there was like a teaser tweet from the CW, not the CW, from Archie Comics that said maybe the Archies would happen, or like, check out next week to see if maybe, because in the comics, I do know this, Archie has a band called The Archies, and people are in it, and he does stuff. So maybe there'd be the Archies and the Pussycats? Who knows? But yeah, so his plot was mostly about that. He wound up giving Reggie the captain position, but a lot of the focus of this episode was Cheryl, which makes sense because it was Jason's memorial service. But Jughead in the voiceover was saying, like, now that he's buried, things will grow in Thornhill, and everything that grows in Thornhill comes down to the town. And Veronica's mom told her about this crazy thing that happened. Veronica's mom, Hermione, is also going to start working for Archie's dad, who is married? Have they mentioned where Archie's mom is? Because everyone keeps saying he's married, and I don't know where she is. Did I miss it? If I missed it, please tell me where she is, because I was like, oh, he's married? Where is she? I mean, she could be, like, on a research trip or a business thing. I don't know. Where is she? Yeah, I didn't know that he was married. I mean, it makes sense, because now that whole, like, you're adultery thing makes sense, but I don't know where she is. But no, he offered Hermione a job because he saved her from a snake in a box, because the serpent sent her a snake at the diner, and it was creepy. I mean, I like snakes, but I would not want to open a box and there be a snake inside of it by surprise. Although I totally thought it was like a head or a hand or something when she screamed. Like, I was like, ah, body part! And then I was like, oh, it's a snake. But yeah, so there's that. We also have no idea what's going on with Jughead, because he was not as big in this episode as last week. And I mean, he was homeless, so I would like to know where Jughead is living. Where? Someone tell me where. I need to know that Jughead is safe and cared for by someone, somewhere. Thank you. But yeah, I think that's everything. There was a lot. We learned a lot of backstory about the Coopers and the Blossoms. And saw a lot more of the Blossom family, which is helpful because it explains some of Cheryl's behavior. She also constantly wears a brooch, which is interesting because she was wearing like a heart. It was like hearts when she was sleeping in Jason's bed, and then when she's like out at school, it's like the big spider. So I don't know if that's like a thing I'm supposed to be paying attention to, like a costume writing technique thing. The brooches are huge and they're really pretty, but it was just interesting. But I think I got everything. I think. Maybe. I probably forgot something. But yeah, it was just a lot of revealed secrets and a lot of like, oh, that's why. Okay. But yeah, I don't know what's happening with Polly. I'm curious. I'm very curious. I also feel bad that so many people have to dye their hair red or orange. It's not even red, it's orange. Because the guy playing Mr. Blossom, totally you could tell that orange is not his regular hair color and it was dyed. And then I didn't remember seeing this at the dinner party, but like old Mama Blossom had this like red little curl in the front that I'm just gonna guess was like paint. Just, I feel so bad that there's so much red dye job. Because Cheryl's hair looks naturally red, so it looks really nice, but like I could tell that the guy playing her dad's, it's not at all. I know some of the others it's dyed, but like his just looks really awkwardly done. Anyway. That's what I have. Please share your Riverdale thoughts with me in the comments below. And if you can tell me where to get a Jughead hat, please share. Or pester the Riverdale Twitter so that I can get one. I don't know. But anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of me, please subscribe. You can find me on Twitter at CleffNotes, on my blog, cleffnotes.wordpress.com, write for the Nerdy Girl Express, thenerdygirlexpress.com, or on their Snapchat, the Nerdy Girl EXP, and I post recipes on the iZombie Sport Group site, iZombiesportgroup.com. Bye, Internet people.